The horse that you see without a number is actually number 3, Barton Sauce. Just a word of thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Alan Walter, who have travelled from Wiveliscombe with horses number 1, Baba Bell, and number 8, Huntworth. They've actually made the journey this morning from Wiveliscombe in Somerset.
Yeah, good turn that, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, right. There's no way I'm going to be able to get out. I promise you.
True?
Yeah, no, I can't get out.
Do you really want something?
Well,
Right? Well, I just yeah, well, yeah. Should we get more? The ones that's going to last, really, register a little bit longer than we can put it first, you know what I mean? So I don't mind what you do. Yeah, just walk. We'll ask the jockeys to mount, please, and they will leave the paddock in alphabetical order, and as they go down, I'll give you a brief resume of their careers and also a little about the jockeys. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Dick Smith have actually given a £50 prize to the best turned out horse, and they have informed me that it has gone to number 2, Baresca. So, Mrs. Scott, Janita, I know is here. So, Mrs. Scott, you're £50 better off. Well done. Owned by Mr. and Mrs. Alan Walter. Baba Bell is now 22 years old. She was purchased as a foal for the princely sum of £100 and has been in the same ownership ever since. She stands only 15.2 and a half and ran nearly all of her races in the days before weight allowances were introduced for mares and 5-year-olds. She went on to win 2 hunter chases and 2 ladies open point-to-points and was placed in over 20 other contests in the early 1980s. She was ridden in almost all of her races by Alan Walter and Jenny Litson. Baba Bell retired to stud sound in 1986. She bred 4 foals, 2 of which are point-to-pointing today, Funny Farm and Bare-Fisted. She is now used for hacking, cub hunting and fun rides. She She completed the badminton ride last autumn, jumping more than 50 fences. She is also successful in veteran classes at local shows, and she is ridden today by her owner, Jane Walter. Number 2 is Baresca, owned by Mrs. Janita Scott, and as she's 22, she's ridden today by Paul Hosgood, who won 4 points on the mare. She has bred 5 foals, beg your pardon, and one of which, Bonnie Barozzi, was entered to run here today, and in fact may well do so. And I've been asked to say that Baresca is enjoying a very happy retirement thanks to Caroline Gale. And as I say, Baresca has won the £50 prize for the best turned out horse. And at the last minute, Jimmy's had to cry off, but none other than Keith Ellis has very kindly assisted us here. Keith, of course, who's won points in his day and has often threatened a comeback. Not yet. The colours made famous by Prophet and Dunker, among others. Barton Sauce, half-sister to the useful but ill-fated Erica's General, and also to Beaconside. Barton Sauce gave Grand National jockey Nigel Hawke, winning jockey Nigel Hawke, his sole point-to-point success. Barton Sauce has bred 4 foals, and one, Barton Rose, has shown promise in the Devon and Cornwall area this season. As I said, horse number 4 is Bucksmill's not here. Then we come on to probably one of the best horses that has graced the West Country scene over the last 20 years, none other than Dicky Blob, who is 22 and looking very well, ridden today by Miss Hilary Nichols, daughter of the horse's owner, W. John Nichols. Dicky Blob won 23 points and 5 hunter chases, and was ridden to 3 of those point-to-point victories by his owner. And Dicky Blob did not race until he was 8 years old, and I think I'm right in saying that he went on till he was 17. As I say, he's now 22. Horse number 6 will be For a Lark. Dicky Blob won 28. This gelding won 35 races. 2 flat races, 2 hurdle races, and no less than 31 point-to-points, including an amazing 30 Ladies' Opens. Ridden today, as he was in most of his Ladies' Open successes, by Mrs. Mandy Hand, who we all know by now, formerly Miss Mandy Turner, and numerically the most successful horse on parade here this afternoon. And anybody that owns point-to-pointers will know how hard it is to win a race, and there's a horse that won 31. Mandy is the leading lady rider in the area with winners, and she's actually ridden 106 point-to-point races, including 2 this season. Horse number 7, Fort Carriage, is not with us. Horse number 8 is Huntworth. And Huntworth is 18 years old, purchased by the late Bill Walter as a maiden, 7-year-old from Lionel Bagg, who farms at Huntworth. He went on to win 5 point-to-points and 2 hunter chases, trained by Robert and Sally Allner, and 12 chases, trained by Martin Pipe. He was partnered for most of his wins, as he is today, by Alan Walter, who not only rode him to win the maiden point-to-point, but also went on to ride him in 2 Grand Nationals. He was also successfully partnered by Robert Allner, Peter Scudamore, Jonathan Lahr, and Michael Hourigan. Huntworth proved to be a wonderful horse in every respect for Bill Walter, especially as he had previously tried for 13 years to own a winner. He retired from racing at the age of 13 and has been on loan to family friends since, hunting regularly with the Barclay, the Mendip Hounds, and jumping with his usual flair. Horse number 9 will be a River Tamar, ridden by his owner, Miss Jackie Duplessis, who rode him to victory at Weybridge. Jackie, one of our most staunch point-to-point supporters, owned horses for many years, and indeed River Tamar provided Jackie with her initial point-to-point success. River Tamar is 21 and spends most of his days eventing, show jumping, one-day eventing, and so on. A really versatile horse. Horse number 10 is Sandsprite, and older racegoers today will remember Peter Grattan not only rode this horse's dam Trudy II, but this horse's grand dam, Mistress Judy. Peter didn't actually ride Sandsprite. She won 11 point-to-points, all ridden by former area champion and national champion jockey Philip Schofield. She was successful 11 times. Sandsprite at 23 is the oldest horse on display today. And a little word about Peter Grattan, who has been owning and training point-to-pointers for over 40 years, and epitomizes the true spirit of point-to-point. One other horse that you may associate Mr. Grattan with is of course Mudlark. Horse number 11 is St. Christabel. This horse is from Terry Long's illustrious family, dating back to Penny III. From Penny III we've got Gala Currency and St. Barb. This horse, St. Christabel, won the Four-Borough Members Race in 1990. She's ridden today by the owner's groom, Leanne Lashbrook, and she has bred 3 foals, 2 by Al Majid, 1 by Landiat, and is about to visit Basil Young stallion Lur. Horse number 12 is Suez, owned and ridden today by Amanda Barnett. Suez is 18, a winner of 1 flat race trained by Major Dick Hearn, 6 hurdle races, 1 steeplechase, and 4 point-to-points, including 2 ladies' opens. Suez ran up to the age of 16 and provided Amanda with all 4 point-to-point successes ridden by her, and including her first win when winning the Mid-Devon members in 1992 as a 13-year-old when beating Roving Glen and Thornton. Next horse to appear on the track will be number 13, Widgery Tor. Widgery Tor is 21, owned by Mrs. Belinda Fuller, Secretary of the Lamerton, and carrying the colours made famous by the V, Shanko, among others, ridden today by Mr. Bernard Langdon, an accomplished rider. And Widgery Tor won one race at Crimp, the maiden race at Crimp in 1987, when partnered by Claire Wonnacott, who has since given birth to twins this year, I believe. And Mrs. Fuller, Widgery Tor's owner, holds the distinction of being the first lady rider to complete the course at Exeter when partnering her own horse, the V. And finally, horse number 14, Mr. Mervyn Willis's Woodland Firefly, 16 years old. Mervyn, who has done a fine job as clerk of the course here, and ridden today by our own Janine Mills. Janine, one of our most prominent lady riders in the last 2 decades. Woodland's Firefly has won 2 points, placed many times, and also finished second in the novice chase at Holden. Has since bred a 2-year-old by Risland and a yearling by Jolly Generation. The horses have now made their way down to the run-through before the second last and will be making their way back up towards us. And it would be nice to show a round of applause when they actually do so, because the time and effort involved in bringing these horses to today has been considerable. So if we can show our appreciation in the normal manner, I'm sure the owners and riders will be very grateful. Well, they should be appearing any moment. The word is when Woodland Firefly makes it to the start, or the run-through rather, they will indeed proceed back at a hopefully leisurely pace. But we did this 2 years ago, and Sandsprite, who was there, Barron, who since passed on, did rather get involved in a little race.
They're coming back, Max. Coming back.
And I believe I've been told they are coming. Like I say, this is not a race, so right, let's start our bell. And that's Sandsprite to Huntworth, River Tamar, Barton Sauce, A Lark, Dicky Blob, Woodland Firefly, Baresca, and finally Widgery Tor. I hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen.
No, stop River Tamar.
It really is see the old boy back. Tetcott Point-to-Point Committee, I would like to thank all the owners who have put the effort and expense into being here today. Thank you very much indeed, and I hope they've all enjoyed it.